on your side. WBRC 6 News at 10 starts right now.
Thanks for joining us for this special digital edition of WBRC 6 News. I'm Lauren Harkson. Tonight, a school resource officer in Pelham is on paid administrative leave after a parent shared that the SRO texted with a student. The school says those messages started in May of this year and, quote, may be deemed inappropriate. The school says they started investigating the allegations Wednesday evening. The SRO, who works at Pelham Park Middle School, was immediately placed on leave. The school also says there are no indications that any physical contact happened or was suggested. Pelham police are investigating. And a 15-year-old from Tennessee is in legal trouble in Alabama after he led state troopers on a car chase that spanned 5 counties in central Alabama. It started around 7 this morning in the town of Center, which is in Cherokee County. That's where a Center police officer tried to stop a 2023 Nissan Armada. They say the driver didn't stop. Instead, they went south on US 411 before turning on Interstate 59. Now, the Nissan hit 2 cars in Jefferson County, and police say they just kept going. The chase didn't end until the driver hit a fence and a building off Interstate 59 in Tuscaloosa County. Police say the driver got out of the car and ran away. That 15-year-old driver was arrested and charged with felony eluding. And a troubling milestone reached this week as Birmingham now has had more than 100 murders this year. BPD says they've hit 102 murder investigations and 8 justifiable death investigations. So today, a prayer event aimed at bringing peace to our city. For a few hours, people praying and calling for peace at Railroad Park this evening, hoping it can help put a stop to the tragedy that's impacting so many families in our city. Kenneth Campbell runs Empower Church in Houston, but has family in Birmingham, and said he felt called to the community.
I want people to leave here encouraged. I want them to leave here with Holy Ghost boldness. I want them to leave here knowing that God still can change any situation around between midnight and day. We serve a right now God. If we need him to change Birmingham right now, he can do it right now.
Campbell says he has a vision that Birmingham can become peaceful again. And of course, it was a nice day to be outdoors. Temperatures not too high. Humidity was pretty low. WBRC meteorologist Lauren Linehan tracking the rest of your weekend. So how's it looking, Lauren?
Well, Lauren, it is feeling absolutely exquisite. The cold front we have been waiting on, it is here, and we are definitely already feeling the effects of that. So as we look at our weather headlines here, the cold front has come through and it's still really comfortable and dry. It's just going to be getting more comfortable as we go through the evening, but we do want to give a first alert that we're also watching the Gulf of Mexico. So what we're going to be noticing in the days ahead is it's not going to stay cool and comfortable long because we've got to keep an eye on the Gulf. Right now, though, you can see where that dry air is associated with the front that's coming through. We're looking at the water vapor satellite, and so this is taking us up into the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and you can see this really dry air across central Alabama, so it's making it feel really good outside, kicking that humidity to the curb back to the Gulf of Mexico where it belongs. So right now, temperatures are already getting down into the 60s across parts of our northern counties, 68 in Gadsden, already down to 69 here in Birmingham, and 76 in Centerville. So if you just look at those wind gusts here, they've been really comfortable here, and we're talking winds gusting up to 25-30 miles per hour. Tomorrow morning, we do have a first alert for temperatures in some spots getting into the upper 50s, especially if you live somewhere like Coleman, a better chance to get farther down into the 50s. Otherwise, starting off tomorrow with plenty of sunshine. So a perfect excuse to get outdoors with this lower humidity and a cool start with temperatures in the 50s. Just have some pumpkin spice vibes in the air. If you're going to the Birmingham Barons game tomorrow, it will be starting at 4 p.m. with that first pitch. And look at this forecast, picture perfect. Even though, yes, the sun's going to be out, you still got to wear your sunscreen. It's going to be feeling really good with highs running below average in the mid 80s. Now, I mentioned our next big thing is going to be watching the Gulf of Mexico. We've been seeing some signs that there could be some potential tropical development as we get into next week. And there's a question, if we see a tropical storm develop, where could it go? Right now, we've been seeing some indications we could be on the east side of a developing system, which could bring some rain as we get into Thursday and Friday. So we've got more going on in the Atlantic Basin right now, but we certainly want to focus on this this area in the Gulf of Mexico that has a high chance of development over the next week. There are 2 additional areas out in the Atlantic that have a medium chance of development, but we really want to focus on what's closer here to home first. So this is looking at Tuesday at 6 a.m., showing the possibility of maybe a tropical depression or storm trying to form in the Gulf of Mexico. We're still dry here in central Alabama on a Wednesday, but we've been seeing a trend towards the possibility of more rain in the forecast for Thursday and Friday. So we just wanted to give you that first alert that we could be contending with some wet weather later in the week, potentially because of the tropics. But Monday and Tuesday looking quiet, certainly watching those rain chances for next week. Check in with Matt Daniel in the morning for more.
All right, Lauren, thanks. We're only 4 days away from the 23rd anniversary of September 11th, 2001. Today, Hoover first responders participating in a stair climb at the River Chase Galleria Towers to honor those who died on 9/11. Organizers say the event symbolizes the bravery of the first responders who climbed the Twin Towers during those attacks, each step taken as a tribute to their courage and their sacrifice. Pictures of the men and women who died that day were posted along the staircase there, and Hoover Fire Chief Clay Bentley stressed the importance of helping the younger generation understand these sacrifices.
Because this was the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil in our history. And so I was working as a firefighter then, and so I felt those emotions. I went through that just like everyone else. And I just think it's very important for our communities to remember this event and what happened.
And of course, on September 11th, 2001, nearly 3,000 people were killed in attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, as well as on United Airlines Flight 93. And there was a welcome home ceremony today for the 117th Air Refueling Wing, a unit of the Alabama Air National Guard. Starting at Sumter Smith Air National Guard Base this afternoon, the American Legion riders escorting our servicemen and women to the Southern Museum of Flight for dinner and a ceremony. They served in the CENTCOM region, which covers parts of the Middle East and Africa for about 6 months, from October to April. Captain Ryan Parker says today's gathering makes them feel loved, and returning home from an overseas mission makes him appreciate home even more.
I love our state, and when I got to step back on U.S. soil, step back on Alabama soil, and I got to see my family there at the airport, my 5- and 3-year-old son ran up and gave me the biggest hug, and it was just amazing to be back home, to enjoy the freedom and the family that we go over there to protect.
Captain Parker says the refueling wing is an important part of the Air Force, which refuels aircraft in air to make sure they can get to their destination. And people honoring legendary Alabama coach Nick Saban and his family this afternoon before the Crimson Tide kicked off against South Florida. Starting today, the Crimson Tide will play all of their home games at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. The man who led the Tide to 6 national championships in 17 seasons addressed Bama fans before he and his family made the Walk of Champions into the stadium. Saban wants to make sure fans know they were a big part of his success.
You've given more to me than we've given to you. You made us a part of this community 18 years ago, which we appreciate. It's our home now. You've given us the opportunity to be the coach at one of the great universities in this country. And I can't tell you how much that means to me.
Of course, Saban announced his retirement this past January, and the university named Kalen DeBoer as his replacement weeks later. And tonight, DeBoer's team looking good against South Florida after a slow start. The Tide scoring 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. This is their first win on Saban Field. Final score 42-16. And then down on the plains, the California Golden Bears coming to Auburn after a Tigers win in Berkeley last year. However, the matchup not looking so good this year. Cal went into the half up 14-7. Each team would score another touchdown in the 4th quarter. The Bears winning this one 21-14. So whether you're rooting for the Tide or the Tigers, one thing all football fans can agree on is not wanting their money to get stolen. Unfortunately, there are scammers trying to take advantage of people through selling fake football tickets. Your reporter, Brady Talbert, has this warning that could protect your wallet on game day.
Well, whether you're a college student or a loyal football fan, it seems like many of us are turning to our cell phones to buy those tickets. which presents an opportunity for scammers. An expert with AARP Alabama tells me scammers may claim they will transfer you tickets after you make a payment online. This could be through Cash App or Venmo. Unfortunately, there are no real tickets up for grabs. As soon as you send over your money, the scammer will delete their account from the app. AARP urges you to know who you are doing business with and to use credible ticket websites, even if they're more expensive.
If you're going to buy tickets for a football game, whether you're a student or whether you're a fan who's looking to get tickets to a particular game, make sure you're dealing with someone you know or a reputable ticket site. Now, I know that folks have their issues with some of the ticket sites online because they do charge fees and it gets very expensive. But truthfully, you may want to pay those fees rather than losing your money and not getting tickets in the end.
I'm told legitimate ticket websites have safety measures like a transaction guarantee. That way they can verify the seller and that they actually have those tickets. Your reporter in Birmingham, I'm Brady Talbert, WBRC 6 News on your side.
And this morning, a ride to celebrate and to honor children dealing with cancer as well as their families. Every year, this pink truck leads a special ride. There it is, from Jacksonville to Heflin. You surely can hear it. On the truck are kids dealing with cancer as well as their siblings and their parents. The truck itself is signed by child cancer survivors or in memoriam of kids who were lost. The Pink Heals organization puts that ride together. They also support families going through cancer treatments.
We got to help them. We got to be there for these families, and I'm trying to tell everybody. I want everybody to know the struggles that these families are going through, and we got to be there to help them.
Now, Pink Heals provides a support system for families, helping them with meals, financial support for treatment, and a caring community when families need it the most. Also today, a local ministry found a fun way to make the lives of several East Birmingham families just a little bit brighter. Rima Word Ministries holding its free fall festival today. Organizers say it was a way to make sure everyone, regardless of their financial status, could experience the thrill of a carnival. They say it shows their love extends beyond the four walls of their church and that all kids were engaged and they had a good time. We love it. And of course, that's where your news and weather ends for tonight. But of course, we're going to be back on TV tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock.